So you might have seen this story making the rounds online, and it's a scary one. There's a warning going viral about a potential mega earthquake in Japan. We're going to break down what's really going on.
Okay, so Japan is no stranger to earthquakes, right? I mean, it's one of the most seismically active places on the entire planet. But when you hear the term mega earthquake, well, that's something else entirely. We're not talking about your everyday tremors. This is a threat on a whole different level.
And look, this isn't just some vague, scary warning. All this concern, it's zeroed in on a very specific and, frankly, very volatile underwater zone that has seismologists, well, they're on high alert. It's called the Nankai Trough.
So what exactly is this threat, and what does the science actually tell us? Let's get into the geology behind all those headlines. First things first, you have to understand Japan's location. It sits right on something called the Pacific Ring of Fire. Now, you can basically think of this as the planet's major hotspot for earthquakes and volcanic eruptions. It's this giant fiery ring of activity, and it's exactly why Japan has to be in a constant state of readiness. And right in the middle of all this activity, you've got the Nankai Trough. It's this massive underwater zone, like a giant trench, where tectonic plates are literally grinding against each other. And all that grinding, it's building up an insane amount of pressure. It's this specific spot that has experts so worried that it could be the source of a truly, truly massive earthquake.
So how massive are we talking? Well, scientists are throwing around numbers like a magnitude 8 or even a 9. And to be perfectly clear, an earthquake on that scale isn't just destructive, it's absolutely catastrophic.
And believe it or not, the danger wouldn't even stop with the shaking. Nope. The most immediate, the most terrifying threat from a monster quake like this happening under the sea, it's a devastating tsunami. We're talking about giant waves that could wipe entire coastal cities off the map in a matter of minutes.
You know, this isn't just some hypothetical nightmare scenario. For the people of Japan, it's a very, very real and recent memory. A memory that shapes their entire approach to this threat today.
It was March 11, 2011, when this threat became a devastating reality. A magnitude 9.1 earthquake, one of the most powerful ever recorded, struck off the coast. Just minutes later, a colossal tsunami slammed into the shore. The aftermath was just unbelievable. Thousands of lives were lost, and it triggered the nuclear crisis at the Fukushima power plant. The whole world was just watching in shock.
And that experience, that memory, is exactly why Japan's government and its scientists are treating this Nankai Trough warning with such extreme caution. They've seen the worst-case scenario play out in real life. They know exactly what's at stake.
But here's the thing. The impact of a disaster on this scale wouldn't just stay in Japan. A megaquake there would send economic shockwaves around the entire globe. And yep, that affects all of us.
I mean, think about it. Japan is a global economic powerhouse. The car you drive, the phone in your pocket, the gaming console in your living room, there's a really good chance a lot of that tech and its components came from Japan. So, just imagine that chain reaction for a second. If a mega earthquake hits and disrupts all those key industries, it could absolutely cripple the global supply chain. What does that mean for you? Well, it can mean shortages of all kinds of products, and it almost certainly means higher prices for pretty much everything. It's a stark reminder of how connected we all are.
Okay, so with all this attention and all this buzz online, it is absolutely crucial that we separate the real science from all the speculation.
I'm sure you've seen this stuff on social media, right? These wild conspiracy theories claiming that someone, somewhere, knows the exact date and time this is all going to go down. But the reality? Well, the reality is that science just doesn't work that way. Okay, let's get really clear on this because it's the most important distinction. Earthquake prediction, saying a quake will happen on a specific date at a specific time, is impossible. We just don't have the technology. What scientists can do and do very well is calculate probability. They identify high-risk zones, like the Nankai Trough, and assess the likelihood of a major quake over a period of time. That's what this warning's all about. So when you're facing that kind of calculated risk, what do? You don't just sit around and wait. And Japan is definitely not waiting. They are actively preparing to face down one of the most powerful forces on Earth. In fact, Japan is pretty much the world leader in disaster management. It's amazing. They have these advanced warning systems that can give people precious seconds of notice before the shaking starts. Their buildings are engineered to sway and not collapse. And emergency drills? That's just a regular part of life for everyone, from school kids to office workers.
Ultimately, what this all comes down to is a really powerful reminder.
right? We can't stop a force of nature, like an earthquake. It's completely unpredictable. But what we can control is how we respond to it. And in that fight, our single strongest weapon is, without a doubt, preparation.
And so that leaves us with the biggest question of all, doesn't it? As the whole world watches, will all of Japan's incredible technology, its brilliant engineering, and its meticulous planning, will it be enough? Will it be enough to withstand another mega disaster if it comes? Or is nature's power just too great to overcome?